Workplace massacre. 5 people killed, 5 police officers injured when a man opens fire at an Illinois warehouse.
Aurora has an active shooter situation.
The gunman killed in a shootout with police. What could have led up to it and what neighbors are saying about the suspect?
Breaking overnight, the new twist in the investigation into the alleged attack on Empire actor Jussie Smollett. The potential suspects taken into custody, questioned and released. What police are now saying about the state of the case this morning.
The border wall backlash, the legal challenges after President Trump declares a national emergency to fund his wall.
I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster.
Why those words may come back to haunt him.
Caught on camera, chain reaction crash. Cars and trucks on this highway unable to stop.
Isn't that what we can do, man?
The terrifying scene turning deadly.
And Jennifer Aniston's scare in the air. The private jet reportedly carrying the Friends actress, co-star Courtney Cox, and others suffers a malfunction. The pilot's tricky emergency landing.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning. Let's get right to our top story. The new information coming out in the wake of a mass shooting inside a warehouse in suburban Chicago.
Chaos erupting as workers ran for safety this morning. Police identifying the gunman and his possible motive for opening fire.
Investigators now say 5 people were killed, and so was the suspect after a gun battle with police officers. ABC's Zachary Quiche is in Aurora, Illinois, with the latest. Good morning, Zachary.
Yes, good morning, Eva. The attack played out inside this valve factory just behind me here. According to law enforcement, it started when the shooter, a longtime employee, learned he was getting fired and responded by pulling out a pistol and started shooting. This morning, workers at this Illinois warehouse and the first responders who came to their rescue are still reeling. 6 are dead, including the shooter. Several more were injured.
Aurora has an active shooter situation. 1 officer is reported down at this time. Active shots being fired.
At around 1:30 Friday, the sound of gunfire pierced the calm of an otherwise typical work week at the Henry Pratt warehouse in Aurora.
Suddenly, I heard the gunshots really loud. It sounded like a machine gun, you can say. Police
arrived within minutes and, despite the danger, immediately ran towards the oncoming bullets.
Original reports indicated that he was shooting from a window.
Authorities chased the suspect through the nearly 30,000 square foot facility, ultimately cornering and killing him, but not before multiple officers were wounded.
All of the officers have been transported to area hospitals for treatment for apparent non-life-threatening injuries.
The disruption and chaos locked down nearby schools.
There's cops from different cities that you wouldn't even think that would be here. It's scary.
President Trump briefed while flying on Air Force One, tweeting, "Great job by law enforcement in Aurora, Illinois. Heartfelt condolences to all the victims and their families. America is with you." Authorities have not released the victims' names, but say they believe all were male employees. Police say the suspect, 45-year-old Gary Martin, was also an employee and was being fired Friday. Martin's home in Aurora has been searched, but police say they haven't found anything suspicious. His neighbors telling ABC News that Martin was friendly.
I'm stunned, shocked. I can't wrap my brain around it just yet. You think you know people, and you don't.
Just an absolutely tragic what happened here yesterday. The parent company, Mueller Water Products, says they are certainly shocked and saddened by what happened here. Today, we're going to be following what the relationship was between the shooter and these victims as we begin to learn more about them. Dan and Eva, back to you.
Zachary, thank you very much. And not far from Aurora in Chicago this morning, there are new developments in another case, the alleged attack on Empire star Jussie Smollett.
Police have now released 2 men who were arrested and questioned about that incident. ABC's Ariel Reshef joins us now with the latest. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Eva. It's a major twist in this investigation. Police tell ABC News they have released the only 2 persons of interest so far identified in this case after new evidence surfaced during their interrogation.
Overnight, Chicago police confirming the men in this shadowy surveillance image at the center of the investigation into the alleged attack on Empire actor Jussie Smollett are no longer considered potential suspects. The 2 taken into custody after landing at O'Hare Airport from Nigeria. questioned and later released as police say new evidence came to light.
New evidence that was brought to their attention. Obviously, I had it. Obviously, my clients had it. I think it took a matter of coordination.
Authorities say the pair, U.S. citizens of Nigerian descent, have a relationship with Smollett, at least one of them appearing as an extra on Empire. Investigators raiding the men's home, taking shoes, electronic devices, and other items that could be related to the case. Their release coming weeks after Smollett reported he was targeted by two men in a violent homophobic assault in a Chicago alley. Smollett telling our Robin Roberts earlier this week he was sure the people in the video were his attackers.
There is no doubt in your mind what motivated this attack.
I could only go off of their words. I mean, who says empire, this MAGA country, ties a noose around your neck and pours bleach on you?
The actor lambasting those casting doubt on his account.
I'm pissed off. It's like, you know, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth.
Admitting he refused to give up his phone to investigators.
They wanted me to give my phone to the tech for 3 to 4 hours. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna do that.
Why?
Because I have private pictures and videos and numbers.
But stressing emphatically he's been cooperating with police.
Now, the attorney for the two men says they're baffled by their lengthy interrogation and have maintained their innocence throughout. Police say detectives have additional investigative work to complete. So many people interested in this case, so we're waiting to hear.
A lot of people eager for answers.
For sure.
Difficult story. Ariel, thank you. We want to turn now to politics. The special counsel's office now supporting a hefty prison sentence for former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is in Washington with what Manafort could be facing now. Stephanie, good morning.
Hey, Whit, good morning. In a 27-page sentencing memo filed overnight, special counsel Robert Mueller's office says Paul Manafort, the president's former campaign chairman, deserves up to 24 years in prison for his financial crimes, which he was convicted of last summer in Virginia. Manafort was convicted of bank fraud, tax fraud, and one count of failure to disclose a foreign bank. Manafort's sentencing in Virginia has now been put on hold until attorneys in D.C. figure out whether Manafort violated the terms of his plea deal by intentionally lying to authorities. Now, in the memo, Mueller's office calls Manafort's actions brazen and bold, and that his age should not be considered when deciding on a sentence. Mueller's office did not, however, suggest a prison term for Manafort. Now, keep in mind, this comes after some very long meetings between Manafort and the special counsel's team the last few weeks. Manafort just this Friday agreeing to cooperate with Mueller and his Russia investigation, which could get him a lesser prison sentence. Guys, back to you.
Stephanie, thank you. And there's also news this morning involving another associate of the president who's become entangled in the Russia probe. Roger Stone is now facing a gag order from a federal judge. The longtime Trump confidant is now limited in what he can say in public about his case. The judge allowed that Stone's public statements could bias a jury. Stone is facing 7 criminal charges. He's accused of lying to Congress, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering.
And the other big political headline this morning, President Trump signing legislation to fund the government and avoid a shutdown, but also declaring a emergency in order to fund his border.
That emergency declaration is now facing threats of multiple lawsuits as well as legislative challenges. And ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is in West Palm Beach, where the president is spending the weekend. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. The White House made this announcement anticipating the legal fights ahead. Now the question is, how long will it take for them to win this so that they can access the money to actually build the wall? After publicly considering it for weeks, the president declaring a national emergency at the southern border.
We're talking about an invasion of our country.
From the Rose Garden, President Trump downplaying what many lawmakers are calling an overreach of executive power.
They gave the presidents the power. There's rarely been a problem. They sign it. Nobody cares.
Just weeks after the longest government shutdown in history, and with another one looming, Congress passed a spending bill Thursday granting $1.4 billion for borders far below the president's demand of $5.6 billion for a wall along the Mexican border.
I got $1.4 billion, but I'm not happy with it.
Next, Trump bypassing Congress to tap up to $8 billion. $3.6 billion will come from the Pentagon, another $2.5 billion from the Department of Defense, and $600 million from the Treasury Department, all combined with the additional $1.37 billion allotted from the spending bill. Even before his announcement, the president facing bipartisan backlash. In court, the administration will have to prove this is a real emergency.
In the inevitable legal challenges to this declaration, a lot of that conduct and those words may come back to bite the president.
Something many say is an uphill battle after Trump seemed to take the urgency out of the emergency.
I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster.
It's an admission that's already being cited in legal challenges from the ACLU and Public Citizen. The state of California also announcing that it's suing the administration.
He may win, he may lose, he may be challenged in a few different venues and face different results. But the big question, of course, is what will happen when this reaches the Supreme Court, as it almost inevitably will.
Hours after this declaration was made, the House Judiciary Committee announced that it plans to investigate how the decision was made. They plan to call the players involved, including the White House counsel to Capitol Hill, to testify. Dan?
Tara, thank you. Let's go now to the border state of Texas, where we find ABC News chief political analyst Matthew Dowd. Matthew, good morning. Bottom line, we said this morning, is the wall more or less likely to be built, given what the president just did?
Well, first, the campaign promise that Donald had was build the wall and Mexico would pay for it has already been broken. So that part's never, as we know, is never going to happen. I think the president constantly gets in his own way on these things. Part of the border wall or part of the barriers will get built because he was appropriated money to do just that. So part of it will get built. And there's a real question whether or not he could even spend the money he's been appropriated that already to build those parts in Texas and other states. But I think his sort of grand dream of a border wall stretching from sea to sea is not possible.
You know, people have been worrying on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, worrying aloud about the precedent, the knock-on consequences of the president declaring a national emergency in order to build this wall, which some people say it's not actually an emergency. What are your concerns as you look at this?
Well, I think it's sort of the establishment of an imperial presidency and the abdication of the authority by the Article 1 branch, the legislative branch of the Constitution, has been a series of small steps for the past 35 years through Republican presidents and Democratic presidents. This is a huge step in the abdication of that responsibility by the House, by the Congress. And so I think this president is going to be under constitutional restraint, and maybe we finally have a Congress, at least the House of Representatives, will take steps back to retake the Article 1 power that they've had, because this is the ultimate power of Congress, which is the appropriation power. And this case of what the president done seems to be in direct conflict for that appropriation power.
Yeah, it was interesting to see Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell supporting the president on this. But let me move on now to a different story. We were just talking before we got into the border wall fight about these new developments in the Russia probe. We're seeing judges cracking down on both Roger Stone and Paul Manafort, both close associates of the president. As you watch this news play out, do you think this spells any trouble for the president himself, or is it unrelated?
I think the whole thing spells trouble for the president. I mean, we're in a situation where if you just look at what we know thus far, there's been a culture of corruption, there's been illegal activities, there's been a culture of dishonesty through this whole thing, but through all of the indictments, all of the prosecutions, all of the convictions thus far of people very close to the president. And so now the president faces two things. He faces a Mueller report. In the aftermath of what we already know about his close associates, he faces Mueller report that will come out, we think, this year. And he faces the Southern District of New York, which is investigating various parts of his empire, various parts of his foundation, his businesses, and all that. So I think the president and other people around the president should continue to be very concerned. But let me reiterate, we've already established there's been this culture around the president of people that were willing to break the law and lie about it. That's already been established, people very close to the president.
Matthew Dowd, we appreciate you chiming in from Texas this morning. Have a great rest of your weekend.
You too. Thank you.
All right, Matt, thanks. We do want to get now to the breaking news overnight from the Vatican.
Pope Francis defrocking former Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, who once served as the Archbishop of Washington. ABC's Julia McFarland joins us from our London bureau with the latest. Julia.
Good morning, Eva. This really is a historic move by the Church. A statement from the Vatican today says Pope Francis is expelling the former Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, the former Archbishop of Washington, D.C., stripping him of all priestly identity and privileges. Now, it's not the first time the Church has done this, but it does appear to be the first time a Church leader has faced this punishment. This follows an investigation by the Church which finds McCarrick guilty of sexually abusing minors and adults many decades ago. McCarrick won't face any criminal charges because the alleged crimes were committed so long ago that the statute of limitations has expired. The revelations also that there were financial settlements in at least 2 cases involving McCarrick has led to accusations of a cover-up by the Church. In a statement last year, McCarrick said he had no recollection of the allegations and maintains his innocence. Eva?
All right, thanks, Julia. A legal victory for Colin Kaepernick, the former 49ers quarterback, and Panthers safety Eric Reed settling their lawsuit with the NFL. The players had accused the league and its 32 teams of keeping them from playing for kneeling during the national anthem. Kaepernick has not played since 2016. Terms of that settlement remain confidential.
Let's talk weather now. Slick roads and near whiteout conditions being blamed for a chain reaction pileup in the Midwest. Rob is on the story and the nasty weather that's really hitting parts of this country this morning. Rob, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. You know, it just doesn't take much. Anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of snow falling in the Kansas City area and points eastward across the state of Missouri, leading to horrific scenes like this across major highways, especially across Interstate 70, where this vehicle shows vehicle after vehicle just slamming into one another.
Overnight, this shocking video in Missouri. The snow and ice causing a massive pileup on Interstate 70.
No!
Huge tractor trailers unable to stop.
Oh, my Lord.
Then this car barreling down, slamming directly into a pickup truck. Drivers sitting helplessly in their cars as more vehicles pile up.
There's nothing you can do. It's best for you to stay in the truck, man.
Another 18-wheeler sliding sideways to a stop. Drivers finally getting out into the chaos, scrambling to help those in need.
Hey, can this truck back up? Yeah, please. Can that truck back up?
In all, 47 vehicles involved and 1 fatality.
And it can happen so quickly. First responders eventually getting on the scene. There are over 500 reports of wrecks across the state of Missouri alone. All right, that's just now quickly moving off towards the mid-Atlantic. It is weakening, thankfully. Just a sliver of snow getting maybe into Richmond later on this morning, but mostly rain from Raleigh south to Charlotte. We have another system that's going to be a little bit more widespread, should be a bigger deal here as it comes out of the Rocky Mountains. We've got winter storm warnings that are posted for parts of the northern plains and winter weather advisories. So the snow will, by tonight, will be in Sioux Falls, getting into Omaha, and then eventually sliding towards Minneapolis, Chicago, a little sliver of snow here by tomorrow morning. And then it expands east by tomorrow night and through Detroit, Buffalo, getting into Albany, New York City Monday morning, into Boston by Monday afternoon. A little bit of accumulation with this, so it's going to mess with the Monday morning commute for sure, but shouldn't be a major accumulation. But anywhere, again, between 2 to 4 inches of snow and what we saw with that interstate crash, it doesn't take much. That's the latest weather headlines nationally. Time now for your local forecast.
Hello and good morning, Washington. Happy Saturday. Really not anticipating much in the way of precipitation today. A couple of flakes well to the south of town, mainly around Fredericksburg from around 9 in the morning through the early afternoon. Now tonight, 20s to around 30 degrees, lows in D.C. close to freezing, 42 tomorrow. Morning sunshine followed by some afternoon precipitation. And some of that, we could see a light wintry mix at onset. You see around 2:30 in the afternoon. Better chance for rain as we go into the evening.
Indeed, sweater weather for some areas of the country. If you didn't watch last weekend, Whit and I shared a sweater together, and we won't do that for any time soon.
It's good to see my sweater half this morning.
Yeah, it's getting awkward.
It was a little. It was a little awkward this morning after that whole thing. It was like,
Okay.
Bad humor.
You know what? Let's go from
good to see you, Rob.
really good joke that you just told to a really good story. Good morning, guys. Some college students were ecstatic, surprised with having their tuition debt paid off thanks to a church. They're shocked when they found out, all caught on camera.
Thank you so much.
These college seniors just found out they'll graduate without a cent of debt. You could say they received pennies from